Morales Black from TV. We're here, season 2, job stability, level comfort. So, Beach, obviously, the first time around, we're getting to this character. We're getting to know you as an actor. Now that we're here, season 2, how have you grown throughout the first episode to what we're going to see in season 2?
I've grown enormously just because my mindset, my mindset is growing every day. I'm getting wiser. I have to deal with obstacles of a 30-year-old. I'm only 17 years old, and I'm in a grown man's game, and I'm a young man. So I feel like just dealing with Meech's everyday obstacles and the fact that his parents aren't happy with what he's doing. So, he's sad about that because Meech is really a family man. He wants to make his family happy, but he's not going to take them not be able to eat and have clothes. So, not to do nothing to feed them. He's going to do something to feed his family. So I feel like this season, even with Terry going back, quitting the game and trying to go legit, this season will show everybody, as Meech will be by himself, putting people together, just trying to stop people from resorting to violence and putting people together and expanding across the United States and trying to leave Detroit. So this season will show everybody Meech's hunger and how much he really wanted, just to expand and become bigger.
Myles, you've been around the different shows, films, obviously with B. Mickey. I don't know if he's gonna, one day he's gonna bite the bullet or if he got 9 lives. We don't know what we get from him. You tell me, what do we get from B. Mickey this year?
I'm glad you get that from him. He's that edgy character, you know what I'm saying? And you never know what to expect from him, but he's going to do it if he's asked of, of him. And it was fun playing that character. This season now, you're going to see a lot more of a spiritual side of him. His relationship with his mother. You're going to see a deeper relationship with him and Meech. You know what I'm saying? And a relationship that he has with himself. Finding himself, understanding his self-worth. His placement, not only in this group, but in life, where is he at in his mental state? But yeah, so that's how I feel about him. So yeah.
So, Meech, obviously, you're more connected to the series than anybody else, so like knowing that hopefully we're going to get seasons out of this and everything has to be layered out carefully. We're not trying to, I'm sure those in your life and those others probably know what's going down. They're like, when is this going to happen? When is it going to happen? And the writers know, like, oh, we got to play this out. We got to stretch it out and so forth. Everybody else has to do a deep dive into that background. But your history is at home. How has this, the success of the first season affected you, knowing that, hey, this is not just any character. This is based on family.
This really affects me in a different way just because I want our viewers to understand, the real meaning of the story too. Like you said, like and the story has soul. It's different. It's not just about what the brothers are doing to feed their families. It's about the soul and it's about the meaning of everything that they're going through and how they have each other's back and the real meaning of family and love and loyalty. And it doesn't matter what race you are, what color you are, or how old you are, you can still feel connected to BMF because it's a single family household, just like a lot of us, 9 out of 10 people go through, with our everyday lives. So I feel like it's a lot of different, BMF touches on a lot of different things that people can learn from, get and soak up game from, because it's just so many different things, that it's touching on. And it's back in the day, when a lot of us weren't even born yet, especially me. So I'm seeing a whole different, era, and getting to live in it and play my dad's shoes is just crazy.
Mm-hmm. And Myles, when you're on a show like this, obviously, as I mentioned before, B. Mickey look like, he ain't family, like family. So we don't know if he's gonna bite the bullet or he's gonna be like the Tommy the series, like we're gonna keep him alive because he's a little soldier. How have you grown as an actor when you're on a show and you're working with different directors, and you're working with folks like Russell and Michole, and now Monique, vets in the game, and you're working with guys who are starting out, but now have, gotten better at their skills as well as yourself?
You get to learn. That's the big part about it. Russell Hornsby had told us one time, I believe it was on table read, have listening eyes, and I took from that. Every day on set, I tried to be as much of a sponge as I could. If it was around the line producer, exec, or director, what I'm saying, or down to my castmates, I was learning, down to Russell Hornsby, Monique, especially, just having just at least one scene with her, I learned so much from it, she stays in character on set the whole time, doesn't even bring her phone. You know what I'm saying? Leaves her phone in her trailer. That's just one thing that I didn't even know about her, and how much respect she has for the game, and that level of the respect that I have for her. So yeah, I just took from it, just learning from everybody and every experience and scenario that I went through on set, first season and the second one.
And for me, Meech, before we wrap it up, for those who have not seen BMF, and I say this because, anytime there's a lot of TV shows out now, ever since the pandemic, now we got a lot of streaming sites and stuff like that. And so no one, and this is not the good thing about the show is that it's layered, like it's not all at once, you want to know what's going to happen week after week after week. For those who have not caught up with BMF, what's a good reason to start watching it now that we're in season 2 and it's here to stay?
It's fun. Not just you getting a history lesson. It's fun. You get to learn something, and you get to laugh, and still feel it in your soul at the same time. I feel like it's just everybody should check out.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure speaking with you guys. Obviously, we know you're going to be around long enough. With B. Mickey, we don't know, but hopefully, the writers like you enough that we're going to keep you around long enough. When you're working with this cast, because not everybody has a scene with, everybody. Is there a time period when y'all all get together to get to know each other? Because not everybody, like B. Mickey, you're not seeing with Lala, and Meech is not seeing what all of the other shows, all the other characters. At what point do you guys get together?
I mean, we always have those points, even if it's off camera, when they say cut, we go back to our chairs, we go back to our trailers, we might have lunch with each other, might figure out what we're doing that weekend, you know what I'm saying? When we go out to Detroit, you know what I'm saying? When we wrap up, might, all catch up and see where we at, catch a drink. So, so catch a vibe, get some food, so whatever it is, just to build those relationships and make it look authentic on camera, those are the times in the day that we find it.
Yeah.
What about you, Mitch? Have you had time to watch other shows and know the other shows that's going on within the Power universe, with the Curtis universe? Let's say like that.
I love Tommy's new show, and I do love Mary J. Blige and Tyreek's show. I love the whole Power universe. 50 Cent is a genius. Every show he comes out with is amazing. I feel like, in my opinion, and I tell him that all the time. Every time I talk to him, and I feel like we aren't in competition. It's a friendly competition, but we aren't in competition just because we all a family. Even though BMF is real, Power is fake. Power is still amazing too. BMF is just different in its own way. They're both different in their own way. One is real, one's fictional, so you can't even compare the two. I feel like.
How much history have you learned about the '80s outside of what you learned in school? So, is there a lot more you're learning, whether it be about the auto industry, during the time period, as we see the fires that was going on? I never knew any of that stuff. So I'm still learning myself as I watch the show. Did you learn anything throughout the 80s as you're doing the show, Myles?
Yeah, I learned a lot. Like, I learned how to use a pager, what buttons, so what for, how many numbers they had dialed in the rolling dial phone. You know what I'm talking about? And I didn't even, it was a lot of things, down to the lingo, style of clothing. I love nostalgic, feelings to when it comes to that type of vibe. I love retro music, the hairstyles, so I was just learning all those different aspects around that genre and that time frame of so yeah.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure speaking with you guys. Obviously, let's hope season 3. Let's make it happen. Keep doing your thing. I'm always here to support. Wherever you guys are at, stay safe.
Thank you so much, Wilson.
Take care. Wilson Myles from Black Women TV. Hello, folks. How's it going?
Hey, how you doing?
Wilson.
Hey. So, Demetrius, I see that hopefully we're going to get some sort of triangle going on, but we can't say. What are we getting this year? When you have a show like this, which people have read up and Wikipedia and all that stuff, but it has to be layered out because we want more seasons down the road. So how much can you say about what we're getting from your character this season?
I think you're getting a lot of love, a lot of emotion, a lot of I think he has a little like sexiness to him now, I think this love triangle that's developing is gonna make people see Terry in a different light, like not like the younger brother, like young kid anymore. I think it's gonna be like, oh, this is like he's becoming a young man. So that's gonna be very interesting for the audience to process that. And I think the audience is not gonna know what to do with when they see the decision and the choices that he's faced with, like the options that he have. I think the audience is gonna be in just as much turmoil and frustration as Terry.
How about you, Sid? Yeah, Sydney, what about you?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like the audience is going to be on a roller coaster of emotions. And I feel like it's so interesting when you film something and when you read the script, you see it one way, but then the audience might see it a whole different way. So it's going to be interesting to see how they feel about, but I feel like they can relate to both sides. It's like you have the family over here, you have Markeisha and her, relationship where she's not being treated right and Terry comes in. So it's easy to see both sides. So it's going to be interesting to see which side they choose and how they feel about it.
Lala, how about yourself? Markeisha, what are we getting at? I don't think she's just the goody two-shoes out there.
Shoes out there, but no, Markeisha's definitely not. But I do think she's motivated by she really cares about Terry and ultimately, falls in love with him. So I think she has some genuine intentions, but she's also excited and intrigued by his passion and what he wants to do, whether it's with the car business or in the drug game. And she's like, I want to make him the best at whatever it is he does. I want to bring that out of him. So that's an interesting dynamic that, the audience will get to see this season for sure.
For Demetrius and Sydney, now that we're in season 2, usually with the first season of any show is about introducing characters and the audience try to get the feel of them and so forth. We're here now, season 2, for both of you guys, it's a much wider visibility that people got to see. How comfortable are you now in the roles that you're playing? Da Vinci?
I'm pretty comfortable with Terry. Well, I thought I was comfortable with Terry. I thought I was. Really not. Terry started going through some stuff in season 2 that, I've never experienced on camera and he's never experienced in real life. So we were both going through this journey at the same time, this new experience and exploring this whole new world. So just when I thought I knew who Terry was, I really didn't. But it's kind of just like real life, real life, every year you change, I'm completely different now than I was when I was just turned 18 and when I was 15. So it's kind of dope to just grow with the character. So yeah, definitely, I'm definitely not that comfortable with him as much as I thought I would be, which is great.
Sydney?
So do you mean comfortable as far as with Terry?
No, comfortable in terms of when you come back, to a season 2, now, because with anybody, first season, you don't know, you're waiting to be getting renewed, hopefully to get renewed, so it's almost like we got to show our best so that way everybody can see it because you don't know if it gets canceled. You got that one season. Now that you're in season 2, you're comfortable playing this role now. That's the love.
Right. Well, I feel like Da Vinci said, even when you feel like you're comfortable, they'll throw something in the script that you're like, whoa, I didn't even expect this from the character. So this season, it was a lot of things that I felt like, I didn't think LaWanda would do. And I didn't think she was that type of person. And, when I saw it in the script, like you said, it's never, you can never get too comfortable because we're all human. One day we might feel like this, but then this might make us feel like a whole different way. So I don't think I ever got comfortable with LaWanda, and I still don't feel like I am because I've heard that there's way more things that she did that I didn't expect. So you know, it's a journey, it's up and down. So we're just, you know, staying ready as actors to be able to move with the way they moved in real life.
And for you, Lala, you know, what's so good about the character is she's totally different from what you previously played, you know, which is a good thing. So when they see you, they're not seeing the same person they saw in other years and other shows, you know. So like, how do you work on your skill set in terms of as an actress when you're playing these roles? And you know, at least when you're reading your sides, it's not the same as what people saw before. And you have to, whether it's the appearance or the demeanor, it's totally different.
You know, coming off of Power, I didn't want people to just see the same thing. And the dynamic between Lakeisha and Tommy is extremely different than the dynamic between Marquisha and Terry. It's two completely different relationships. So I wanted to definitely bring something completely different to it. And that takes, it's just the research and really, you know, character breakdown and development to say, okay, what is this relationship like? What motivates this person? You know, what is her driving force, as opposed to what I did in other characters, but especially, you know, what I did on Power. So I didn't want people to say, oh, this is Lakeisha all over again. This is something completely different. So I do appreciate you saying that, because I worked really hard at that.
You know, and then just, you know, it's an ensemble, you know, every different scene brings something new, you know. Have you guys all had a chance to get together and just kind of hang out, even though a lot of you guys don't have scenes together whatsoever?
We definitely hung out.
Be on a show with somebody and never see them the whole season or never do any work with them. But our showrunner, Randy, who's incredible, always made it a point to, you know, do things, or we would have little get-togethers or stuff where we could all kind of connect with each other, because it's important when you're on a show to have that kind of synergy. So I'm grateful to Randy for that.
Demetrius, you did Broadway last year. How has that experience helped you out as an actor coming back for season 2?
I think, you know, doing Broadway was kind of like going to like a boot camp, you know, like an acting boot camp, training camp. So it helped me a lot. And the thing about Broadway that is interesting from TV and film is like, when you're doing Broadway, you're the cast and the crew, right? So you're doing so much, and then there's no cut. There's no way, we don't like this take, let's redo it. Like, you got to know it. And then if you make a mistake, that you just got to improv and then just get back. And you know what I'm saying? So your team partner can know the stuff. So memorizing all that and knowing all that and doing it for 4 or 5 months straight made like my memory muscle like just 10 times stronger. So like sometimes like I can look at a monologue right now and memorize it in like 15 minutes. And with the choices, it gives you different options to play with, because in theater it's bigger. Theater is like everything that you're not supposed to do on film, right? But you can find that happy medium. So it gives you that flexibility to just play with the characters in a different way. It's definitely a good exercise. I definitely would recommend a lot of, you know, young actors that, you know, well, everyone really, that just, if you just got on TV and film, like, you should go back and do a play, because it's for sure going to make you respect the craft a lot more.
Hey, Lala, did you have a hand in terms of your makeup, the hair, the glasses?
You know, I mean, I collaborated with the hair and makeup department, who were so amazing. But, you know, hair, makeup, clothing is just so intricate to the story and setting the tone of what was happening at that time. And it also really helps you get into character. So it was exciting to be able to play around with that and just explore and definitely really get into character once you put the wig on. And like you said, the makeup, the glasses, the clothes, all of a sudden you're like really transforming into this other person.
Mm-hmm. And Sydney, you know, do you guys do a deep dive into, obviously we're in season 2 now, but did you do a deep dive into these real life people to get a better understanding now? You know, the first time it's like, okay, I'm playing a role, I'm playing a character. Now we're in season 2. So like, when you have this fan base that watches this show, you know, they're all gonna hit you up like, what's gonna happen with so and so? What's gonna happen with so and so? You have, it's almost like Comic-Con. Gotta know. It can't just be a job. You gotta know it. Like, are these people, they know everything about this character, whether it's the hair, whether it's the line, you know. So like, how much of a deep dive did you do of the real people, you know, as it's still going on?
Right. So for me personally, I was not able to talk to her name is Rhonda in real life. I wasn't able to speak with her, unfortunately. So I did get like intake on like from Terry and from the mother and from the sister. So I kind of got their version of how she is, and I kind of created my own version. So, and I feel like we have a lot of things that are similar. They're like, okay, she's very loyal, she's very mild-mannered, she liked to change her hair a lot, she was into the whole Detroit, you know, like I said, hairstyle. So I kind of took my version of LaWanda first season and second season, and was able to pull things from my real life and, like I said, from what I was told about her, and put that onto screen. But unfortunately, I was not able to meet her. So, like I said, I kind of did my own thing.
Well, folks, you know, it's good to see you guys all again. Season 2, I'm sure we'll talk. Season 3, make it happen. We're always here to support. Congrats.
Thank you.
It's great talking to you.
Take care.